Welcome, everyone. My name is Tracy Murphy-Poxtis, and this is Good to Great in Under 8, the weekly show for motivated professionals who want to have a greater business impact and get more fulfillment out of their career. And guys, as you know, I do record all my Good to Great in Under 8 shows and have them on the website, tracymurphycoaching.com. So if you go there and you visit the Learning Corner, you'll see all the shows along with some other great resources. So guys, one of the most common challenges that my clients tend to face when they're working is dealing with anger. Not only their own anger, but dealing with the anger of other people. And honestly, anger at work is an age-old issue. And really, it's something that's only slightly improved in the past couple decades, despite an increased focus on self-awareness and emotional intelligence. However, people who have learned to control their own anger have really experienced some amazing responses from their teams, and they've been able to have much greater business impact. But the key thing around learning to control anger, first and foremost, is to understand it. Right, so today I'm going to talk a little bit more about where our anger comes from, what's the source of it. And then in the next two shows, I'm going to talk more about how to recognize your own anger triggers. And then I'll talk about how you conquer it. So I want to start by saying anger is not always a bad thing, right? Anger is an emotion that propels us to take action. And taking action can be a great thing, especially when that action's productive and it helps us achieve our goals. Right, but the issue with most anger, guys, is that it propels us to take unproductive action, right? Action that works against us when we're trying to achieve our goals. Right, so for example, imagine a team member shows up to a meeting and they're unprepared. And the team leader gets angry and maybe shames them in front of the rest of the group, maybe degrading their abilities. Right, so clearly not a productive action. But what we want to do is really determine where is that anger coming from. And in most cases, guys, anger is triggered by some type of a perceived threat, right? A threat that we believe is going to have some kind of negative impact on us. So in the example that I just talked about, the perceived threat might be that the team leader thinks that the project's not going to move forward as scheduled, and that the perceived threat or negative impact that they might have on themselves is that they're going to have to go tell the powers that be that the project's not on schedule, and then they're concerned that that might impact their reputation. Right, so the negative impact to them could possibly be a hit to their reputation. Now, typically speaking, bigger threats tend to have bigger negative impacts, right? And so typically then will trigger larger degrees of anger. But it's important for you guys to know that's not always the case, right? Some perceived threats can be pretty subtle, but yet still have a big negative impact on us. So for example, let's say we've been working towards a promotion and we don't get it, right? Technically, not getting the promotion isn't a huge threat, right? But the negative impact to us could be huge, right? Because that could be a hit to our own self-esteem, which is going to really trigger a good amount of anger, right? Especially if we thought we really deserved the promotion. So guys, the key thing to be aware of is that many reasons come up for why we get angry. But the driving factor behind any anger is what is that perceived negative impact to you. Whatever that perceived negative impact to you is what's going to be triggering your anger. And that's what we want to get a handle on. So a couple things. The next time you get angry about something, just take a 5-minute time out and really think about what negative impact might be behind your anger. And think about it, the next time you see someone else get angry, try and understand what negative impact might be behind their anger and maybe empathize with that a little bit. And so guys, as always, I am available for one-on-one coaching if you're trying to better understand and deal with your own anger, or if you're trying to figure out how to respond to someone else's. Just visit the Work With Me page at tracymurphycoaching.com, scroll to the bottom and fill out the form, and we will get a conversation started. And then don't forget to check back next week, because I will be sharing more about how to actually really recognize what triggers that anger. So that's it for today, guys. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.